Hi, Oliver. Good morning. I'll be sending a video instead to better explain my perspective and respond to your question for the team leaders regarding the operational impact of the invoice-based productivity model. Well, personally, I believe that the invoice based model can work, but only if there is a more standardized and fair method of measuring the productivity across the organization or across WIS. And I also definitely agree with the concerns raised by Lisette and also with Jordi. I have read their opinion as well. And one of the biggest operational challenges that I also see here is I know that you have mentioned regarding with the long invoice, VIP, for example, but yeah, not all of the invoices require the same level of effort because some of the invoices may that we may receive are complex one, VIP, right? And long invoices. And for those long invoices, I know pretty sure, I'm confident that not all of the team members are still and adding those long invoices in our tracker. I know that we have a separate tracker for that one, and I also feel the same sentiment with with the other team members if they're not gonna add those long invoices invoice link because it's actually an additional tracker for them, right? Since we have also you know um there is we have several trackers already being used right now. But for me, I understand, or for me, from an operational perspective, Olivier, I think we first need to strengthen the current productivity structure or framework to create a more sustainable approach in the long run. I know that you, Olivier, you are actually you always consistently communicate to us, to the team, about the productivity expectations to us, especially for the full time they have to complete at least 40 hours a day. But for my opinion, I think the implementation and the measurement more specifically across the team, that is something that we are still lacking of, right? Especially with the visibility, because I know that we are still need to send manually to you at the end of the day every time that, for example, I am going to produce, let's say, 100 invoices for today. And then for the next day, I will only produce 38 hours. And I completely understand why do you have to get those productivity, because the upper or Angelo more specifically is asking as well, especially about our productivity, right? Um, and because of the because of your question actually, or because of what you have raised today, I created only a time tracker when I actually completed the invoice processing. And then when I have read about your question, I created a time tracker today, and I just wanted to share with you personally through the video. One of the main reasons I have developed it is to provide a better operational visibility, not only for the productivity, but more importantly for the occupancy part. I know occupancy has also been one of the operational challenges that we've been trying to better understand across the teams, right? And to be transparent, this was also one of my concerns before, understanding whether a team member, I know that we have already a previous conversation with one of my team member, if they're really utilizing their full shift. And I don't want to always ask you, hey Oliver, could you please check if this team member really worked 10 hours, because his he keeps mentioning to me that he works or he extend for a 10 hours, right? I know that you still remember that scenario, but with this tracker is that it is mainly designed to capture how shift hours are distributed across different task categories. So I included several task categories here. So as you can see, um, well, the two common task category that our team members will usually use is the invoice processing and the invoice correction. Except only if there are team meetings, for example, company meeting. But I still added I still added different task categories, especially for us leaders, like if whenever we are also doing the venue assignment and monitoring, in which it's really also important to track this one, especially on my end that I usually spend around an hour because I am still heavily relying on the Airtable just to make sure that I'm not missing assigning specific or important venue, which really took time because I have to run the Airtable and then manually opening each venue that has uploaded invoices just to make sure that it really has a valid invoice or it has a client in it if it's actually has a client invoice, and also to identify the SLA priority, which I am usually doing that one. But yeah, the goal here is to provide a clear operational context behind the productivity numbers. So the team member basically they can indicate the task category, and specifically this is the important part, they can leave remarks regarding the work completed and identify situations. For example, they have work on a specific venue, let's say Crown Plaza, and for example, I have encountered super slowness on that system. I can actually tag here on on this specific remark column. The tracker actually, for example, for today's shift, they will only enter the shift date, add the task category, and then once the task category is added, the time in will automatically populate. And once they have tagged or changed this status to Y, it means they have already completed a specific line item. They can actually they can if you actually prefer it, if you actually prefer the team to use this one moving forward, they can either work per venue, or for example they work simultaneously with different venues, let's say. So they can also put or indicate a remarks. It's going to be an optional, but I know that we really wanted to get the reason why why they spend so much time on a specific venue. They can actually leave specific remarks here, and then once they have updated it, the status to Y, it will automatically calculated based on the duration. So it will be based on the work, based on the total number of hours, and also and also the total number of minutes, rather. And then under the J column, I have also indicated the total number of hours they have already spent per shift, as well as the conversion into minutes, so that they will have already an idea with of, for example, for today I have, for it's just only an scenario based, right? For example, I have already worked 3 hours and 14 minutes. So that's actually the what do you call that, the main purpose of this tracker. And then under the leadership summary, this is going to be the most useful, the useful one, wherein they will only indicate, or you can actually indicate here, Olivier, the shift date, and you can also select the month, because it will be recorded. The data will still be restored, or it depends actually. For example, 5/9, you can generate it and click it, and you will see the total number spent for a shift date, for example, and then the total MTD as well, the running. And the only challenge actually right now here is, since it is a macro, if ever that you would like to use this, or if ever that you would like to roll out this tracker across the team, it has to be saved in the SharePoint, so that one of the challenges that I'm foreseeing is that if we need to submit the time tracker, for example, on a weekly basis, it can be actually on a weekly basis, for example, or it can be on a daily basis, so that you will have that visibility, or it can be a shared point so that you can see the time tracker anytime you want, or especially it's a macro, so if it's a personal drive, it cannot be shared across across to the across the team. So um well, it actually depends if you wanted this to be rolled out in our team. Yeah. So the only actually reason why I only send it via PM, or via, yeah, I actually send this video directly with you and not with the team leaders. I really don't want to push the time tracker actually personally, because I don't want that that the team may think that we are already starting to micromanage them. But I'm getting your, somehow your challenge as a leader of us, how to, how to provide a more solid or detailed data to Angelo. this is actually one of the only way I can think of to help you to get a better visibility or data from us. But I really don't want them